This is a full story. Kitten wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. The day I was diagnosed with a terminal illness, I asked my wife for a divorce. After 7 years of dating and 4 years of marriage, she said, "Rocky, you finally came to your senses. If only you'd thought this way earlier." I opened the bedroom door and saw two bodies tangled together. The guy panicked and wrapped himself in the sheets, but Hailey stayed calm. "Rocky, what kind of tantrum are you throwing again?" The stench of sex made me feel sick. I threw the already prepared divorce papers inside. "Hailey, let's get divorced." "I've already signed the papers," she replied. "If there's no problem, let's go register the divorce at the city hall soon." Uffed. Hailey let out a cold laugh. Of course, after all this time, no matter what she did, I never agreed to divorce. She wouldn't believe I suddenly changed my mind. "That's fine. Once she reads it carefully, she'll understand." I drove home and began to pack. The doctor's words echoed in my head. "You have a terminal illness, and at most 3 months to live." The diagnosis lay quietly on the coffee table, mocking me silently. "See, everything you wanted was always destined to slip away." I didn't want to spend the rest of my life in a haze, so I decided to travel alone. I packed my things and booked a flight to Colorado for 2 days later, just waiting for Hailey to call me about the divorce registration. I couldn't wait anymore, so I called her. "Hailey, I don't care what bed you're in or which man you're with. Bring the divorce papers back home tonight, or I'll make sure Tony can't show his face at university again." That night she came back. She hadn't set foot in this place for months. She must have thought I'd still insist on her leaving with nothing. She probably didn't even look at the papers until I reminded her. When she saw I hadn't taken anything, her face lit up with joy. "Rocky, you finally came to your senses. If only you'd done this sooner." I swallowed the last bite of dinner, a storm buried in my chest. "I have a terminal illness. I'm dying." She smirked. "How klitsch. Are you filming a drama? What's next 3 months left to live? You don't need to be this dramatic, Rocky. Let's part on good terms." I let out a bitter laugh. "Good terms, that's rich. We started on good terms, sure, but this is anything but a good ending. You cheated, Hailey. You should go to hell and never have peace for eternity." Hailey casually opened a bottle of wine. "Don't take it too hard. Maybe someday when I feel nostalgic, I'll come back and visit you." 7 years of love, and all that remained in her heart was the word nostalgia. The girl who once handed me a love letter in her school uniform, cheeks red with shyness, had become the woman in a slip dress and heels, eager to divorce me. She sipped her wine slowly, then looked at me with suspicion. "So what's your plan after the divorce? Don't go doing anything crazy. Take the money, go to another city, start a new life. With your skills, you'll be fine." I sneered. "I booked a flight for tomorrow. This house is sold. I'll never come back here again. You don't have to worry." She raised her eyebrows. "Then don't ever come back, even in death." That night, I lay in bed in pain, unable to sleep. Only after taking a painkiller did I finally drift off. I dreamed of high school, a boy and a girl in school uniforms, getting ready for their graduation photo. Rocky. The boy looked confused at the unfamiliar girl. She seemed to be from the neighboring class, nervous and blushing, like she had summoned all her courage. "Rocky, can I take a picture with you?" The boy nodded without thinking, noticing the redness in her eyes. In college, the same girl kissed his cheek. "Rocky, let's date." At graduation, she clung to his arm. "When will you propose?" The scene shifted abruptly. The girl became a frightening woman. "Rocky, let's divorce." "Let's divorce." Divorce. I woke up with a jolt. That was my 7 years with Hailey, from 18 to 25. At 8:30 a.m., I stood in front of City Hall. Hailey kept checking her watch, muttering about how they should have opened by now. It reminded me of 3 years ago, on my 22nd birthday. We couldn't wait even a second, waiting with our documents outside City Hall. Her hands were sweating, afraid I might change my mind. That day they opened early, but today they were late. Seeing her anxious expression, I mocked her. "You made it through all these years, but now a few minutes is too much. You really can't wait to divorce me." She was typing on her phone, barely glancing up. "Yeah, any later, and I'm afraid you'll die on me." My silence made her realize what she'd said. She froze for a second, but then City Hall opened, and she quickly dragged me inside. Because of that one sentence, I changed my plans and went home. I stood before my parents' graves. My mother died, giving birth to me. My father in a car crash when I was in elementary school. Relatives refused to take me in, saying I cursed my parents to death. That pain haunted me all my life, and now Hailey had used it to hurt me. In that moment, I knew the 18-year-old Hailey was gone for good. Just like when a boy turns 18, his 17-year-old self vanishes forever. Some things you always think will be there, but they're already gone. I touched their photos, even managing to smile. "Mom, Dad, I'm truly alone now, but maybe that's not so bad. No one will mourn me when I die, and soon, I'll be with you again. Wait for me." Eventually, I made it to Denver, but on the second day, I ran into someone from the past. "Rocky." I turned around. "Serena, what are you doing here?" She was my classmate from middle school. She always came second, and I was always first. She treated me to New Orleans okra soup, a local Denver specialty. "How have you been? Why are you alone? Where's Hailey?" I smiled. "We're divorced." She didn't pry. I didn't tell her I was dying. No need to burden her with that. To change the subject, I asked about her boyfriend from back then. "So what about you? Did you marry Peter?" "He died." I fell silent. silent, guilty for asking, saddened by her loss, reminded that I too was dying, and no one would grieve for me. We sat in silence, but later that day, we talked a lot. Two unlucky souls had plenty to share. I told her I planned to see the sunrise over the Grand Canyon in Aspen. I didn't even know if my body could handle the altitude, but I really wanted to see it, even if I collapsed right after. She offered to come with me. The next morning, we braved the cold and climbed the mountain. The sun slowly rose, turning the snowy peaks golden. The sky too was dyed in gold. It was breathtaking, 1,000 times more stunning than any photo. Rocky, if you see the sunrise over the Grand Canyon, you'll have good luck for a whole year. But I didn't have a year. 3 months would be enough. I looked into her eyes, saw my reflection glowing in them, then lost consciousness. I should have known not to say that. It became a curse. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. Serena was beside me. Watching closely, I saw her doctor's coat and laughed. "You're a doctor now. That's my real job, okay?" She changed my for and asked gently, "You know about your illness, don't you?" I nodded, her eyes filled with sorrow. "Want to transfer to a big hospital?" I smiled faintly. "No need. They can't cure me. At least I saw the Grand Canyon sunrise. I planned to die in Alaska, but I didn't make it that far. Dying in Aspen isn't so bad. The view's amazing. I really like it here." She saw through my forced calm, but played along. "So now you're picking a gravesite. Alaska. You couldn't even handle Aspen's altitude. You really want to die in Alaska?" I nodded. "Yeah, I really do." She had tears in her eyes. Maybe she was thinking of Peter, but I had no strength to comfort her. My whole body ached. The illness hit hard. In just half a month, I was bedridden. Everything hurt, even the needle site in my arm. Serena said chemo needles would hurt even more. She limited me to 3 painkillers a day. But at night, I secretly took more just to sleep. My mind was always foggy. I slept more than I was awake, and often couldn't tell dreams from reality. Like today, I saw Hailey by my bed, but this time, she looked different than in my dreams. Not in school uniforms or hoodies anymore. She wore fur, with heavy makeup. I raised my swollen finger at her. "You're ugly like this, Hailey. I don't like how you dress now, because when you looked like this, you didn't love me anymore. The old you, with light makeup and sweatshirts. That was the Hailey who loved me." When I regained consciousness, I realized it hadn't been a dream. Hailey was really sitting in front of me, still wearing that fur coat so hideous. "What did your boy toy dump you?" Came running back for nostalgia already. Hailey frowned. "Just divorced and already acting all pitiful for sympathy." Drop the act. If Serena hadn't called me, I wouldn't have bothered coming. I knew there's no way you'd agree to divorce that easily. "So this is what you were plotting, waiting for me to show up. You don't answer calls, don't reply to messages. Getting bold, huh? What did you tell Tony? That he should break up with me? Trying to use retreat as an advance now, Rocky. I didn't know you were this despicable." I hadn't touched my phone in days. The last time was to check the time during the Grand Canyon sunrise. I didn't even take a single photo, thinking I wouldn't have the chance to look back on them anyway. "You ruined yourself like this just to win me back. What, you really got a terminal illness? Let me tell you, I hope you drop dead soon and stop messing up my life." I thought that since I was facing death, I would be immune to worldly emotions, but I underestimated Hailey's power. Her words left me breathless, unable to speak. She took my silence as confirmation and got even more aggressive. "I knew it, Rocky. You still like me. You even picked Colorado, the place we promised to visit together. Listen, I don't care what you want. I won't give you a single cent. Forget about getting back together. Also call Tony right now and take back whatever you told him." I clutched my chest, breathing in shallow gasps, fighting to stay conscious. Smack! The sound of a slap echoed in the room. I looked up shocked, and so was Hailey. It was Serena, her hand still raised, her body trembling with anger. Get out now. Fine, I'll leave. You call me here yourself. What, your pity act didn't work? So now you're throwing a tantrum." Hailey covered her face, slammed the door, and left. Serena turned to me, eyes full of concern. "I'm sorry, Rocky. You were calling her name while unconscious, so I thought you wanted to see her. I didn't know things between you two were like that." I steadied my breath, took the water she offered, and shook my head with a faint smile. "It's okay. No guilt in what you didn't know." I knew she meant well, seeing how guilty she looked. I forced a smile. "Dr. Serena, look how pitiful I am. Can I get 2 extra painkillers today? I keep waking up in pain at night." She reached out and touched my forehead. "Does it hurt a lot?" I lay back and exaggerated my misery. "It hurts so bad. Have mercy, Dr. Serena. Give me more pills and fewer needles, please." Instead of the stern refusal I expected, she smiled and nodded. "Okay." I noticed the shimmer in her eyes. I was puzzled. Why was she so soft today? I found out the next day. They told me I was starting chemotherapy. Serena stood by my bed, smiling, but her words were ice cold. "Chemo starts soon. There will be many side effects. As your doctor, I suggest you shave your head. It'll be less painful than watching your hair fall out. But the choice is yours." I thought about it. "Dr. Serena, is there a barbershop nearby? Can you take me?" Maybe she felt bad for me. me. Maybe doctors just try to fulfill dying patients' requests. Either way, Serena agreed. Her face looked a little confused, since most people just buzz it off with clippers. I was in surprisingly good shape today. Not healthy, but you wouldn't guess I was dying. At the salon, the barber greeted me with a smile. "Hey man, what would you like? A perm or a dye? I want to dye it white and curl it. Give me something cool." Serena watched from the side, a strange look on her face. I explained, "I used to watch this anime as a kid. The main character had white hair and looked so cool. I've always wanted to try it. Finally got the chance." Her eyes turned red. The barber on the other hand was excited. "Dude, your face with white hair. It's gonna look awesome. Just wait. I'll get the color perfect." I didn't know dyeing hair was so complicated. They had to bleach it first, wash it several times, and it took all afternoon. But the result was amazing. He even shaved my messy beard. The reflection in the mirror looked nothing like the me of the past 25 years. I'd been a good kid my whole life. Finally rebelled, right before dying. "Told you this style suits you. Look at yourself. Hey miss, what do you think?" I wasn't sure if I liked it, but the barber looked very satisfied. Serena walked over, her eyes already teary. "Yeah, very handsome. Let's go." I paid and stepped out. Serena followed close behind. "Anywhere else you want to go? I had it planned. Let's take some photos." I rarely take pictures of myself. Even my ID photo is ancient. You know, for the gravestone, I want a handsome photo on it. She brought me to a photo studio. The photographer asked what background I wanted. I said white. He assumed I wanted ID photos. I didn't correct him. Afterward, Serena spent ages picking out the best one. More serious than me. I couldn't even tell the difference between them. She said, "Can you make the eyes symmetrical please, thanks? And the hair here is a bit messy. Can you tidy it up?" She went on and on until the editor grew impatient. But the result was great. When I got the prints, I nodded. "Yeah, handsome just as I hoped." It was already dark when we left. Later that night, I buzzed off my white hair in the bathroom. Serena cried beside me, like her heart was breaking. Peter died of cancer too. I studied medicine, but I still can't save the ones I want to save. I didn't know what to say. I really hadn't meant to reopen anyone's wounds. Chemotherapy started the next day. Dr. Serena was right, those needles were indeed long, but they worked. After the sessions, I could feel my body improving a little. That day I was watching scenic videos on a tablet in the hospital. I didn't have the chance to see the world with my own eyes, but I could still view others' journeys online. Rockey, Hailey appeared in my hospital room again, but this time not with anger. Her face was soaked with tears. "Bodo, why didn't you tell me you were sick?" "Didn't tell you. I told you on the day we divorced." "Serena called you afterward too. You just didn't believe it. Your mind was probably busy on some college boy's bed. You didn't care whether I lived or died." She cried even harder, struggling to breathe. "I didn't know Boda. I thought. You thought I was lying, right?" She couldn't say it, so I said it for her. She kept crying at my shaved head, crying at my swollen hands, crying when I was pushed to the chemo room, even crying while I watched travel bloggers. She cried so much, it gave me a headache. I finally lost my temper. "Hailey, are you mourning me already? Hoping I die sooner? Get out. Disappear from my sight. Right now." She was sobbing as the nurses escorted her out. I thought I could finally get some peace. I was wrong. She clung to me completely. Every day, she brought me homemade meals, covered me with blankets at night, held me in her arms when the pain had me trembling. No matter how I cursed her, she stayed calm, as if she didn't hear a word. When I forced her out, she sat quietly outside the room. Chemo side effects hit me hard. I began vomiting, suffering from diarrhea, mouth ulcers, and my bone marrow stopped producing blood. Hailey took care of everything herself. Like a nurse, she cleaned my body, held the urinal, always brought warm water. I only said one word to her: leave. Anything more felt like a waste of my fading strength. One night, my condition suddenly worsened. After using the bathroom, I began vomiting blood violently. I couldn't make it the few steps back to bed, couldn't even press the emergency button. I had no strength left, not even to turn over. The blood choked me, and I felt like I was about to suffocate. As I was slipping into unconsciousness, a figure rushed in. She lifted me up, supported my head, let the blood drain from my mouth, and hit the emergency call. Later, Serena told me that if Hailey hadn't come in at that exact moment and done the right thing, I wouldn't have survived that night. That's when I found out Hailey had secretly been learning emergency care. I was shocked. She never liked studying. In school, asking her to go to the library was like asking her to be tortured. But now, she sat with a little notebook in front of Serena, listening intently, recording everything with her phone, afraid she'd miss anything. I can't lie, I was moved, and I hated that I was. Even Serena, who once helped me kick her out, started allowing Hailey to come and go freely. Hailey was so happy. She brought a fresh bouquet every day, placing it in a vase she brought herself. Even though it was winter, that splash of spring made me doubt what I saw. I wanted to get up, throw her flowers away, and shout, "Take your things and get lost. I don't need them. Save them for someone else." But I had no strength left, shrunken under the blanket. I thought of the bouquet she gave me on our anniversary. "Rockey, you gave me so many flowers this year. I never gave you any. But boys deserve flowers too. In my heart, you'll always be equal. I'll treat you well forever. Everything others have, you'll have too. But when I was conscious, I coldly threw that bouquet and the vase into the trash, my voice weak. Stop pretending, Hailey. Didn't you bring him flowers every day after class too? Even on our wedding anniversary, you gave him white roses. You used this trick to make people happy. So what I had, he had too. Her tears poured like water. Since we met again, her eyes had always been swollen, either crying or on her way to cry. One day, out of nowhere, she wore our old couple outfit to visit. Boda, do you remember this sweater? You didn't like me dressing that way, so I stopped. You didn't like heavy makeup, so I quit that too. Please don't treat me like this anymore. I was wrong. I regret it. Let me stay with you. Of course I remembered. That sweater was from college. I saved up for months to buy it. She loved it when she first got it, but never wore it again. Seeing her pretend to be her younger self, I reached out and touched the fabric. She lit up. You remember right, Boda. Please don't be mad anymore. I really know I was wrong. The next second, I grabbed the scissors from the table and shredded the sweater to pieces. Don't disgust me. Don't pretend to be her. You make me sick. The 18-year-old Hailey was gone, and the 25-year-old Rockey was almost gone too. I'd never see that Hailey again. Even if you dressed like her, you weren't her anymore. Hailey cried again. So noisy. Is it snowing? Rocky, Aspen doesn't snow. My illness grew worse. Only a dozen days left before the doctor's 3-month prediction. Hailey had already been here over a month. I was dying. I couldn't tell who sat by my bed. Hailey, Serena, or someone else. I lost track of day and night. If I had known it would be this painful, I should have ended it when I was first diagnosed. Would have saved myself all this suffering. Whatever. Maybe I'll see the Grand Canyon sunrise one last time. If there's a next life, I'll go to Alaska. Shame I never made it. Hailey, you liar. If I could go back, I wouldn't accept your confession. I really thought you'd love me forever. Let's not meet again in the next life. It's too exhausting. I never contacted Tony. Not even once. I don't even have his number. I was too scared to hear about how happy you two were. You're cruel. I hate you, but I also hate myself. Even after everything, my heart still has a place for you. What I can't let go of is the 18-year-old Hailey, smiling beside me in photos. The 22-year-old Hailey, who ran to me without hesitation. Not the woman who slept with someone else, and now pretends to be sorry. You beg for forgiveness, but I won't forgive you. No one will. I drifted into endless dreams, night and day blending into one. In the dream, we were back in college. Her parents didn't want her to marry someone like me, but she still chose me. At our wedding, she said, Rocky, there are so many people in the world, but in truth, there's only you and me. In this crowded world, my love is only for you. I promise to love you forever, to stand by you, to protect you, until death. When I first found out about her affair, I nearly lost my mind. I took her back to our university, to the little restaurant we used to visit, hoping to rekindle her love. She said, Rocky, I watched this show recently. It mentioned the phrase, from honeymoon to heartbreak. I think that's me now. I didn't understand it then. Now I do. She was saying, it started sweet and ended in divorce. How was I supposed to accept that? I couldn't. So I clung to her, made mistakes of my own. I was a general who lost the war, died alone on the battlefield. I thought I'd grow stronger with every fight, but this one left me. Like Xiangyu, on the banks of Wujiang. My thoughts stayed in that summer. My soul stayed in that summer. My love stayed in that summer. But I no longer did. I slept for a long, long time. So long I thought endless darkness was death. But someone kept talking to me. When I opened my eyes, the woman in front of me looked unfamiliar. Who are you? The doctor came in and told me I had lost part of my memory. It was normal, they said. This illness would affect my memory and logical thinking. The unfamiliar woman claimed she was my wife, but for some reason, her touch made me feel uncomfortable. She would watch me for a while, then cry, then laugh. It was confusing, and she was loud, but I didn't have the energy to deal with her, because somehow, my body felt suddenly lighter. I asked her to push me to the window. I sat in a wheelchair, watching the world outside. They wouldn't let me open the window. They said it was too cold. I'd catch a chill. It was beautiful. Winter in Aspen. A pity there was no snow. I begged Hailey to open the window for me. I probably wouldn't live past today. I'd been stuck in that bed too long. I like the outside world, even just the wind. I don't like white roses. I like sunflowers. They're full of life. When I die, take my ashes to Alaska. I never got to see it. Please live a happy life. Serena. The woman behind me was sobbing uncontrollably. I tried to lift my stiff hand to pat her head, but even that simple motion was impossible. Don't cry. If I see Peter down there, how can I explain? Thank you for taking care of me all this time. If Hailey comes asking where I'm buried, don't tell her. I don't want her visiting my grave. Too unlucky. She nodded through her tears. I never knew a person could cry that much. I know she never came. You've carried the burden alone all along. Serena knelt beside me, held my hand, and opened her phone to record. Rocky, do you want to leave her any words? But my mind was already drifting. The final image of my life was green trees and clear waters beyond the window. In the recording, there was only Serena's sobs and the fading sound of my breath. Serena's side story. When Rocky mistook me for Hailey, I was surprised at first, but I knew it was a symptom of the illness. Whenever I looked at him, I would think of Peter when he passed, and I couldn't help but cry. Besides the first time Hailey came and yelled at him, she never returned. friend. After that, it was always someone else. Sometimes me, sometimes a nurse I hired, sometimes a new girl on staff. He thought all of us were Hailey, talking to us like she was still here. When he finally passed, I followed his wish and brought him to Alaska. I buried him there. He had spoken of it so often. It really was beautiful and pure. Now he could rest there forever. He didn't want Hailey to know the location of his grave. I had thought about burying him next to his parents, but she would have found out for sure, so I chose Alaska. Sure enough, Hailey came to find me. 3 months after his death, she finally remembered him. Having witnessed Rocky's suffering, I had no warmth for her. I handed her the hospital footage I had prepared long ago. It recorded how Rockey spent his last 2 months, how he talked to his imagined version of her, how he suffered, and how he died. She couldn't even finish watching. Her face turned pale. She kept muttering, "No, no, it can't be." She seemed to collapse. I watched her coldly, filled with sorrow. Not long after, she came to me again, asking where Rockey was buried. She wanted to visit. I ignored her, but she kept following me. Eventually, I got tired of it. I led her to an empty plot of land, pointed to a small mound, and said, "This is Rockey. You can mourn him here." She believed it. She visited that fake grave every day, bringing white roses, which he hated the most. Good thing I didn't bring her to the real grave. Rockey would have been mad. I watched her kneel by that little mound, weeping and repenting. "I never thought you were really sick. Can't you wake up and scold me? Or hit me? How could you just leave like this? What am I supposed to do now? Rockey, I was wrong. I truly was wrong. I know you blame me. You didn't even let me see you one last time. Didn't leave me a word. I'm sorry. I blame myself too. If there's a next life, let's meet again, so I can make it up to you. I promise to treat you well. I miss you so much, Rockey. I miss your cooking, your hugs. The laundry detergent at home is gone, and your scent is gone with it. Can I come find you, Rockey?" Hearing her words annoyed me. I wondered if someone else was really buried under that mound. If so, I apologize. Hailey really was noisy. Later she got sick. She said she couldn't sleep at night. Always felt like Rockey was still beside her. I visited her once. Her illness was serious, delusional. In her world, Rockey was still alive. They were still married. They even had a child. She talked to thin air every day. I think it helped ease her guilt. The next time I heard about her, she had taken her own life. They said she became clear-headed at the end. Told her friend she wanted to be buried with Rockey, so she was buried beside that fake mound. While Rockey lay in Alaska, they would never meet again. That was the first time I understood what forever really meant. The end. If you like Kitten's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.